The driver's daily log is a DOT-required document for every commercial driver every day. The purpose of the logbook is to ensure that drivers are receiving adequate rest required for driving commercially. The logbook contains details, as recorded by the driver, of their activities over the course of 24 hours. Drivers must keep track of their location and time spent on and off duty. Every log report must be filled out completely and accurately, otherwise they face FMCSA penalties as well as company disciplinary action. There are various styles of log sheets, but they contain the same essential content. Before a driver starts their driving for the day, the log sheet must be started. Any point throughout the day, the log sheet must be current with every duty status change and up to the point when they last started driving. To start, the date needs to be written. This column contains a running total of the hours on duty in the past 7 days. The 70-hour rule states that a driver cannot be on duty for more than 70 hours in the past 8 days. This area helps calculate for that rule. Starting at line 7, a driver will write the number of hours on duty for the day before. Line 6, the driver will write the hours from 2 days ago, and so forth, going back 7 days. Here is written the total hours for the previous 7 days, in this case 39. Here is the available hours calculated by subtracting the total hours as of yesterday from 70. Here this equals 31. This section is for the total hours today and will be filled out at the end of the day. The company's information must also be filled out. This log sheet has the company's information pre-printed on the log. Otherwise, the driver must write it in. Here, the vehicle number must be recorded. Because there are 2 vehicles on the road, the truck and the trailer, they must both be recorded. Here, the truck number is 123, and the trailer number is 4567. Both of these numbers will be used in other parts of the log sheet. If there is a co-driver for the trip, their name goes here. Otherwise, a line like this will work. For more information on logging with a co-driver, contact the compliance office. This section of the log is for shipping information. The bill of lading, or BOL number, is the same as the trailer number. In this case, it is 4567. It is important that all supporting documents match the log sheet. These supporting documents include the BOL, toll receipts, permits, and fuel receipts. The grid section of the logbook is where the driver indicates the time they spent in various activities. For this example, the driver is off duty until 7 a.m. when they hook up the trailer in Albion, Indiana, and conduct a pre-trip inspection, or PTI. It is important to always use Eastern Standard Time. This pre-trip inspection is when the driver would do their daily vehicle inspection and fill out the report at the bottom of the log sheet. The remarks section underneath the grid is where the driver writes the city and state of where the duty status changed. They will also write a brief description of what they were doing. Here they conducted their pre-trip inspection, which is on duty but not driving. Every on-duty day, a driver is required to complete the Driver Vehicle Inspection Report, or DVIR. On this log sheet, the DVIR is located on the bottom of the log. To fill out the log DVIR, the driver must fill in the date, the truck number, the trailer number, and check the appropriate box for the inspection. Finally, the driver needs to sign the inspection report. Before the driver can start driving, the logbook must be current, meaning that the status line must go up to the driving section. When the driver next stops, the line will be taken to the time of the stop. The city, state, and action are also noted. Here, the driver stops in Lexington, Kentucky to get fuel. Fueling is considered an on-duty activity, so the line will go into this area. Here, the driver also decides to take a break. Breaks are considered off-duty, and the status line needs to indicate the break is off-duty. So the line will be taken to the off-duty area. In this example, the driver fuels up for half an hour and takes a break for another half hour. Both of these activities are noted in the remarks section. Again, before the driver is able to leave, the status line needs to be drawn to the driving section. All drivers should follow the half-hour break regulation, which states that a half-hour break must be taken by or before a driver has been on duty, driving or non-driving, for 8 hours. Here, the driver has driven for 5.5 more hours before stopping again for fuel, this time in Ackworth, Georgia. The status line will follow these activities of the driver and are noted in the remarks section. It is important to remember that delivering a trailer would also be an on-duty, not driving activity. The driver then goes off-duty for the rest of the night, which is indicated by the status line going off-duty. This column is where the total hours for each driver is recorded. By counting up the hours off-duty during this 24-hour period, the driver totals the time, equaling 12 hours. The next line is for sleeper berth time. Most pickups will not qualify for this, so the driver will indicate that no hours were spent here. The number of hours driving will be written here. The driver may drive only during a period of 14 consecutive hours after coming on duty, following a 10 consecutive hours off duty. A driver may drive a total of 11 hours during the 14-hour period. This section is for the total number of hours spent on duty but not driving. In this case, the total comes to 1.5 hours. A driver cannot be on duty for more than 14 hours. That is the combined time of driving time and on duty, not driving time. Here is the total hours for the day. This should always equal 24. If it does not, there is a mistake on one of the totals above. At the end of the day, the total miles need to be recorded. For drivers driving alone, the number in both places will be the same. The total on-duty hours for the day will be recorded here. Again, this is to calculate the available hours for the coming days to stay compliant with the 70-hour rule. Finally, at the end of the day, and once the log is complete, the driver will sign the log sheet. We also ask that the driver print their name here. The return trip back to Indiana also needs to be logged. Drivers are required to keep the last 7 days of logs with them in their truck at all times. It is recommended that drivers keep records for the last 6 months of logs at home. The original log sheet needs to be turned in to Gateway within 10 days of its completion. For logs that a driver is off-duty, the driver will still write and sign their name and input the date or date range off-duty. More than one off-duty day can be recorded on a single log sheet as long as the days are within the same month. A status line will be drawn in the off-duty section, and the date or date range will be written in the remarks section. This instructional video is specifically designed for RV transporters and does not cover all of the regulations of a logbook. For questions and regulations that are not discussed in this video, please contact the Compliance Office.